property, land, different names of places, and it was made by William the Conqueror, and he wrote in the Exeter, which is nearby, the nearby city, and Edcott. So Edcott, we think, evolved into Escott, which is our house and the estate and the park just over there. So we reckon that this was the site of Edcott, or maybe then eventually into Escott. So you could be standing on actual Saxon ground, which is pretty exciting. So 1,000 years ago is a long time ago. We built this replica village. It started in 2006. So the first hut is just behind us there, and it is the medicine hut we call. It has a herb garden, and we're going to tell you a bit more about that when we do our little tour. But we've aimed at around 960 AD in the reign of King Athelstan. So you may know the word or the name King Athelstan. Who can tell me why King Athelstan was the famous king? Some people told me earlier. Yeah.
First king of all England.
First king of all of England, yes. We spoke earlier about this, yeah. Yeah, he was the first king of England. So he's a pretty special person. How did he do this? We actually, before he was the first king, we had different counties that kind of got on and kind of didn't get on, but they were separately ruled by different leaders, and he decided he wanted to be the king of everything. In fact, his grandfather started off. So King Alfred tried first. He didn't succeed. And then 2 generations later, King Athelstan came along and he did succeed. He united all the counties in a big battle, ironically, that then brought peace about the land. And he named his kingdom, he named it Angleland. That's then eventually turned into England. And it's where you may get Anglo-Saxons from as well. So the Anglo-Saxons, Angleland. So we like King Athelstan. But we don't like, as a Saxon, William the Conqueror, who came along in 1066 with his battle of Hastings and destroyed the Saxons. So that's the end of the Saxon era. So our village is set near the end of the Saxon era, and the beginning was 430-ish AD. So they did span quite a long time, and they lived quite peacefully in that time. So they lived very nice and communal, so they really liked to have this kind of village feel to them. They did things together, they hunted, they grew crops, they were good at farming. And so we're going to tell you a little about the huts and the things they would do in the different buildings. If you wish to follow me around, I'm going to do a tour. Excellent, wonderful. So we're going to start off in the oldest building, which is down there. And we'll go to the medicine hut first. So it's called the medicine hut because of the herb garden just in front of it and around the back. And a lot of the plants, some of the plants in this very herb garden, they used for medicine. So they were really good at using the land around them and trying to find different uses for it. So they found a plant that is just here, we'll show you it to you, called yarrow. So it's this. And it looks a bit like a toothbrush. And actually they can use it like a toothbrush. You can chew it up and it helps to get things out of your teeth. They also realised it's very good at protecting you from infections. So it's an antiseptic. Stops wounds getting all septic. So they crushed it up into a paste with a bit of water, and then they put it into their wounds and it helped to stop getting infections. So it's a very useful plant, yarrow. We also have comfrey. Has anyone heard of comfrey? Yeah. Modern day people use that as well in health food shops. You can buy it as an oil sometimes, but it's a leaf like this. That on there. It's velvety, it's got hairs on the bottom, so it's quite sticky and you can put it on your clothes and it stays. But they actually found a good use for it. It's different to yarrow. They actually use it for broken bones instead. So actually the Saxon name for it means knit bone, and it actually knits the bone together. And that it can be used on modern day times as well. We've got a colleague who used it on their broken bone and it helped them to heal it really well. And the doctor said, yeah, what have you been doing, because this bone looks so great and the heel has done super well. And yeah, they said put comfrey on it and it worked. So yeah, a couple of things you can use there that are back in the Saxon times and also now, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, feel free to have a look afterwards. You can go in there and explore. We've got a thatch roof and cob walls. So the cob is the same stuff as the oven. You might have seen the oven earlier, with me bread baking. So we've got mud and straw and water all mixed together, and it makes a nice waterproof wall. So it's really quite strong. And then you've got this really lovely thatch on the top. and that is also waterproof as well. And then they would have a fire inside, keep them nice and warm, and an animal skin on the top. And the animal skin catches any embers or any bits of fire that may come up off your fire, and it stops it catching the roof alight. So that is a safety measure that the Saxons used, and we also use it now in our replica village, and it works really well. It's a really good thing to use. So the height of Saxon technology is over behind you. We've called it's called the pole lathe. So it is, I'll show it to you properly. We've got this long piece of willow that goes all the way up. There's a rope attached to it, goes down into the frame. They've actually got a piece of wood on there at the moment that's wrapped around. It has a pedal, a little foot pedal, and you get a chisel, and you can pop it just on the piece of wood and press your pedal, and it turns the wood around in a circle, and it chisels out lines. So you can then make your piece of wood thinner as you go along. You can put different designs in it. So our skittles are made on the pole lathe. I'll show you one. If you haven't played skittles yet, you can have a go, but like that. So you have different sized chisels making all these lines, and you can smooth it out. It's very clever. So you can make things like table legs, candlesticks. You can make your beams nice for your houses, things like that. Really, if you've got a long enough lathe, that is. Really good. So the word technology just means something they used to make something or do something with that was really good. So you might think of electronic tech now, but that's just electronic technology rather than wooden technology or fire technology for cooking and things like that. So, yeah. We will head up to our kitchen barn. That is built in 2016. And we'll have a look at the cob oven in there.
Boys, Jessie's here. Let me come back to that.
So all the buildings are built with authentic techniques. I've learned to use different methods that the Saxons would use to build these, and use the axes and things that they would have used that they'd found in the Bayeux tapestry. You can see different things that the Saxons would have used. That's a really good thing to learn what the Saxon life was from. The big Bayeux tapestry that would go all the way around the village. If it was here, it's such a big piece of really good history. Does anyone know what this is?
Wheat.
You put wheat in it. So yeah, good answer. But what might happen to the wheat on it?
It gets crushed.
Gets crushed. Really good. So use your imaginations. You've got a big piece of other stone on the top that's circular. You have two handles, and then you put your wheat or whatever grain you have. The Saxons use spelt, and we do have spelt these days, but spelt was their nice crop that they grew a lot of, and they grind it and grind it and grind it, and yeah, make flour from it. So they did a lot of bread baking, which we did this morning, if you were here with us. And we're doing in the morning throughout summer. Yeah, we do this with the school groups. So if you happen to have booked on with us, if you're a local, you can book out the space for your school group, and you can do bread baking and flour grinding and the working forge. Later we'll show you the forge. So it's a really good piece of living history day, we call it. So yeah, it's called a quern, this one. The word's up here, like that. So the children would actually do this activity because it's a low down piece of technology. Still a piece of technology, that one. They would have a handle here and a handle there, and you push it all around in circles, and the kids would do it maybe up to 8 hours a day. Longer than you're in school for. Quite physical, hard work. You may swap in, tag team, but the kids would do that one. They wouldn't really go to school as such like we do now. They would do things around the house, around the village, so things like getting the flour ready for doing the baking. They would help with getting the firewood, maybe, things like that. They would learn a new language because the Saxons don't speak English. They speak, I don't know what it's called, Saxons maybe. But we're going to count to 10 in it so you can hear what it sounds like. It sounds a bit like it's influenced from other countries. So see if you can hear what it might be from. So I'm going to say the number, and I put my hands up for the numbers, and you're going to repeat it back if you want to join in. Ready? So,
Un,
twine,
twine,
thry,
thry,
fiwar,
fiwar,
thief,
thief,
says,
says,
sivan,
sivan,
acto,
acto,
nihan,
nihan,
tehan.
Tehan.
Well done, you can all speak Saxon now. You can go up to
Yay!
10. Really good. So can you hear the different countries it might be from? You can name maybe the first number might sound a bit like a certain number from a different country. French, yeah. Yeah, sort of maybe French, German, I think possibly in there. Yeah, so all the surrounding countries from around our section here, around England or Angland land when it was. So just turn my futuristic on. That's under my apron. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got present day technology to help us with our health and safety. So I'm a Saxon that's 1,000 years old that knows how to use something electric. I'm a unique Saxon, yeah. So we're going to carry on and learn about the different ages of time huts over there on the forge if you wish to follow. So we've got some different style huts to what we've just seen. The ones we have just seen in the Iron Age. And then we're going to go a bit further back now. Who can name the first age with a material in it that's not the Ice Age, but the one sort of after? The Stone Age, yes. So we'll head up here and sort of along. So we're going back in time to the Stone Age, if you imagine. I'll show you what
I have like 6 on them. And guess what he went?
This is it. Yeah, not much to it, is there?
Next time he went.
It was, yes, yeah. Got some good knowledge at the front here. Just wait for everyone. So we built a few huts in the different sort of styles that they would be, so you can see the difference in buildings, the different materials they used. So, as I said, this is a Stone Age hut. What kind of stone would you think that they could cut with? Begins with an F, if you know.
Flint.
Flint, yeah. So flint was the thing they used quite a lot of. You can like chisel it out and make it sharp. You probably use it in your hand rather than on a handle. They didn't really figure out how to do the handle part. But then they would cut branches and they would build their hut like this. And as you quite rightly said, they would move quite a lot. So this would probably last around 6 months roughly because it's quite flimsy. But that was the best that they could do. That was their height of building work. And then they would move with the animals. They hadn't really discovered that you could keep an animal in one place to look after it and then maybe get eggs if you have a chicken, for example. So they follow the animals on their migratory patterns and then build their huts as they're going along and following them as they're going. So then, who can name the next stage in time after the Stone Age?
Bronze Age.
Bronze Age, very good, yes. So then we have a Bronze Age roundhouse here. So Bronze Age, a bit more advanced, and they've actually been able to make bronze. So you can't find bronze, you have to make it. Does anyone know the 2 metals that you can make into bronze? This might be a new fact for you. You have your baked beans in it. Tin, yes, that's one of them. And the other one? Copper, yes. Tin and copper melted together make a metal alloy called bronze. Yeah, bronze is a lot stronger. They found they could cut things more like this size, bit like much more tough wood to get through. And they discovered how to thatch things, and that this is really waterproof. And again, they've done the cob walls, and I believe there's somebody in it. You can go inside that one and have a little look in a moment as well. So they've done this nice circular building as well, same sort of same shape as the Stone Age. And then when we get into the next stage, they've decided to go away from the circular and more rectangle. So the next one after the Bronze Age, who can say that?
Iron Age.
Yeah, Iron Age, really good. So we'll see our Iron Age forge. So think about the word forge and think about what happens in a forge. Here is our lovely forge. So, does anyone know what happens in the forge?
They melt things.
Oh, got answers as well. Make tools. And they do it by melting things. Yeah, good combination of answers there. Yes, so tools, weapons, that kind of stuff. They also make jewellery. They can show off how wealthy they are by melting down jewellery and making it into something pretty for people to wear. Because you can show your wealth on your on your clothes and the colour of your clothes. So I would be quite a poor Saxon. I don't have any metal about my person. And this word down there. And I don't have any like bright colours on me either. So the dyes would be quite expensive, so it'd be rich people that could buy coloured clothing. So you have neutral clothes. And then it would also be richer people that could buy the brooches and buy bits of metal to put pins. It's called a penangular brooch, it's quite a common piece of thing. I think that Feb, the face painting Saxon, has a penangular brooch on her, so feel free to go and have a look at that one in a moment. But you can look on the left hand side in the window. We'll move this piece of wood. Just pop it like that. If you want to just have a tuck in and see, only a few people at a time can have a look. But you would have a fire pit in there that gets super hot, enough to melt the metal. And possibly an anvil, something to bash your metal onto, make it nice and flat. And how they shape the tools, exactly, yeah. So this is a working forge. We use it for the school groups. We also have a blacksmithing course if you're interested to learn more. We have this lovely roof on it, so it's different to the thatch roof. So they're actually called shingles. They're like wooden tiles. And it's safer to use these wooden tiles on the forge because we've got a big open fire here. And that gets really, really hot to melt the metal. So that one there is not going to catch as much as a thatch roof was, so it's not nice and safe. And that's what the Saxons would use as well. So yeah, have a little go in there, have a look. It's really nice. The next bit, we're just going to go back to the middle. Once everybody's had a good look. I don't know whether I can hold this still. It's a bit wobbly. Yeah, I'll hold it. We're going to see who's the naughtiest of the group. We've got a yay from here. What crime have you committed? Did you stay up too late? You often stay up too. Definitely naughty. So we'll have to put you in the stocks, I'm afraid. Are you happy to go in the stocks and demonstrate the stocks for us? So if you'd like to sit on the log there, we'll lift this one, pop your feet in. There we go. So the stocks are for your legs, and the pillory is the one in the middle for your head and your wrists. And what do you think people would throw at them if they're naughty and they would put in the stocks? Yeah? You got the answer straight away. Rotten things maybe, but if they're a little bit rotten, they might be good enough for the animals to eat still. We don't want to waste anything. But poo, we can definitely waste poo. We can throw that at people. So if you're lucky enough to have a farm, you can scoop up the animal manure and the dung, throw it at the naughty people, and it shames them and embarrasses them enough to hopefully not them do the crime again. So it's kind of being sort of punished for your crime, for your smelly and gross. So if you stayed up too late and I threw poo at you, would you do it again? No, exactly. There you go. You don't like poo, exactly. That's the main reason. You don't want to be thrown poo at, exactly. That's brilliant. Yep. We can let you out of this.
My friend managed to get out of this without that pit and everything.
Oh,
Cleaned up the pit here.
Oh, clever. And then we have the pillory in the middle as well. So if anyone wants to have a go at the pillory, that's a taller person really for the step.
Well, I'm forgetting around.
Who else is naughty? You, Indigo. There we are. So everyone can have a go at this afterwards if they want to. So it's supposed to feel uncomfortable and weird because you don't want to be in there. So what does it feel like?
Good.
Yeah, it does. It feels like sort of trapped, doesn't it? It's not very nice. Here you go. So do we all now, knowing a bit more about the Saxons, do we want to live like a Saxon? It was hard, yeah. They like to live peacefully. So they did have a group of people that would defend from the Vikings. So you might have seen our sign. Vikings would often come along and try and steal things. So you would have some people that could fight and defend off. So you could be the defenders. But they all have their different roles in the village. And they all help each other out, which is quite nice, I think. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening. And I hope you enjoyed learning a bit more about our village and the Saxon way of things. If you have any questions, myself, Stacey, will be here. We have Feb and Tiff as well. And we've got our activities, so we've got face painting and marshmallow roasting until 4 o'clock, and you can do a clay pot to a figure over here as well until 4. So yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.